There is one area of health, safety, and environmental management that consistently wastes capital and credibility: employee training. Look at the administrative records of almost any major industrial facility. You will find completed slide decks, signed attendance rosters, and perfect test scores. Yet on the floor, those same workers are bypassing locks and ignoring protocols. Regulatory bodies like OSHA mandate training as a rigid legal requirement. Organizations respond by treating it as a box to check, creating a culture of passive compliance. But checking a box does not change a habit. A worker does not abandon a dangerous shortcut simply because they sat through a 40-minute presentation on procedures. The breakdown happens when safety professionals confuse the legal requirement of delivering information with the operational necessity of influencing actual behavior. To influence that behavior, we have to look past the classroom setup and understand the cognitive profile of the people sitting in the room. This matrix shows the core difference. When you train industrial workers, you are not dealing with a passive student. You are dealing with experienced operators and skilled technicians who have deeply ingrained habits and strong opinions. This brings us to the first of 6 cognitive principles for adult learners. They are self-directed. Force them into a one-way lecture and they will tune you out. They require cognitive participation. You have to ask questions and use real scenarios. Second, they are experience-based. Every worker has real-world exposure to near misses, incidents, and shortcuts. Extracting that experience by asking if anyone has faced a specific situation forces a session to become interactive. Third, adults are goal-oriented. They are internally asking, "Why am I learning this?" If you did not answer that question immediately, you lose their attention for the rest of the hour. Fourth is relevance. The material must map directly to their daily tasks. A tank operator needs to drill on overfill protocols and vapor releases, while a maintenance technician needs isolation and lockout tactics. Fifth, they require practical application. You have to strip away abstract definitions and theoretical slides, replacing them with actionable physical tasks they can perform. And finally, respect. If you treat a veteran technician like a beginner and fail to validate their field experience, they will actively resist your curriculum. Ignore these 6 psychological principles, and your workforce will reject even the most technically accurate safety material you put in front of them. Even perfectly designed material is useless if you are solving the wrong problem. The standard corporate reflex to an incident is almost always mandatory retraining. This visualizes training needs analysis. It compares current against desired performance. The space between is the gap. We evaluate 4 vectors. First, context, operational justification. Second, the user, their experience level. Third, the task, specific job requirements. And fourth, content, governing regulations. Once you map those vectors, you must ask the most critical diagnostic question: is a lack of knowledge actually the root cause of this performance gap? Consider a common field scenario. A worker repeatedly reaches over and silences a critical control panel alarm without even checking the gauge. A surface-level review says to retrain the worker on alarm protocols. A training needs analysis reveals the alarm triggers constantly due to poor system design, conditioning the worker to ignore it. Putting that worker back in a classroom accomplishes nothing. Instruction cannot fix poor engineering, unrealistic production pressure, or weak supervision. Deploying a training module to solve a systemic operational failure wastes capital, guarantees the next incident, and destroys the safety department's credibility with the workforce. When an analysis does confirm a genuine skill deficit, building the curriculum requires a structured, engineered system. The globally recognized standard for this is the ADDIE framework, which builds directly on the continuous improvement concepts pioneered by W. Edwards Deming. The ADDIE model begins with analyze, defining the problem and audience. Is a tripping pump a mechanical fault or training deficit? Next, design blueprints learning outcomes: who, what, conditions, and standard. The operator safely starts the pump under emergency conditions with 0 deviations. Skip the analyze and design phases, and you guarantee a program that looks administratively perfect but completely misses the actual hazard. With the blueprint locked, the third phase is develop, where the actual materials are constructed. This requires generating content based strictly on standard operating procedures. The technical complexity of the slides, videos, and simulations must precisely match the user's assessed skill level. Phase 4 is implement. The delivery format dictates the success of the material. Instructor-led sessions are fast but often passive, while self-paced computer-based training offers higher retention. However, on-the-job training remains the most effective modality, forcing immediate practical application in the actual work environment. Implementation demands a strict testing strategy, a pre-test to establish baselines, module assessments to track progress, and a post-test confirming competency. When presenting data, visual standards matter. Use pie charts exclusively for percentages, bar charts for direct comparisons, and line graphs to map trends. The final phase is evaluate, and this is the universal failure point for most corporate HSE departments. A post-training evaluation must aggressively measure actual behavioral shifts and field results over time, rather than relying on immediate knowledge retention from a multiple-choice quiz. If a safety department does not evaluate field execution after the training is over, they are no longer managing risk. They are blindly assuming safety. The ultimate objective of any safety intervention is flawless field execution, especially when production pressure is at its highest. To achieve that, organizations have to discard superficial administrative metrics. Attendance sheets, signed rosters, and issued certificates are proof of attendance, not proof of safety. As this dashboard illustrates, there are only 3 true metrics of training efficacy: observable behavioral change, direct incident rate reduction, and a measurable strengthening of the safety culture index. The uncompromising reality for HSE professionals is that you do not improve safety records by forcing more training hours onto the workforce. True safety is achieved by engineering smarter interventions, programs that align with adult psychology, respect field experience, and target verifiable operational gaps.